We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karne Vishuniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha Stirairangaihi Sushtuvagum Sashtanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vriddashrabaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadato Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying Anubhuti Prakasha, chapter 6, dealing with Mundaka Upanishad, consisting of 100 verses by Swami Vidyaranya. We have finished 21 verses of this text. Mundaka Upanishad is a dialogue between Angiras, the guru, and Shaunaka, the disciple. There is a very intelligent seeker of truth. And his question to his guru was, can you teach me one thing by which I can know the entire universe? Because in his personal study and from what he has heard that there is something which is common, universal to the whole universe. That common thing can be only one, which is the cause of the universe. So the Guru clearly says, you know the cause and you will know the whole universe. The universe is an effect. Like gold is the cause for a ring, for a chain, for a bangle. If you want to know all the products, it will take you a long time. But if you know the cause is gold and know only one, then you can understand the whole world is nothing but this one truth. This truth is explained by the Guru Angiras as Aksharam. This is the most important word you should remember in Mundaka Upanishad. Aksharam is the name of God. It is the name of the truth. It is the name of the cause of the universe. If you know this Aksharam, you will know the entire world. See, the Upanishad has a very unique style of presentation. And when the human intellect goes through this unique presentation, it learns, it has the knowledge of something which cannot be described by words. It has the knowledge of something which the mind does not easily understand. The truth is something which is very unique. We are talking about the cause of the entire universe, which our senses do not perceive, which the mind cannot think independently. But when our mind, together with the scriptural study of Mundaka Upanishad, goes through the words of the scriptures, then our mind can understand, which is assisted by the Veda. The Pramanam, the source of knowledge, is the Veda. There is no other source to know the truth of the universe, the truth of the Creator, and the truth of myself. Jiva Jagat Ishvara Adhishtanam Brahma. This is how the teaching is. There is a substratum which is called as Brahman, which is called as Aksharam. That Aksharam is a sentient principle. It can think. It has the power of consciousness. It has the power of existence. It has the power of Ananda. That is its nature. It is not an attribute. It is its nature. An attribute can come and go, but the nature remains the same. So your nature, my nature, if you really want to put it in one word, it is Aksharam. Aksharam means which cannot be destroyed. It is always there. This Brahman, this Aksharam is always there. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, it will always be there. What about the world? The world is there during the Jagrat Avastha, waking state, and the world is not there in the sleep state. But I, Aksharam, Brahma, am there in Jagrat, in Swapna, in Sushupti. All the three states, the substratum is always there. That is called as Aham, I. That is the ultimate teaching of Mundaka Upanishad. Once we know that this is the ultimate teaching, what is the Jiva Jagat Ishvara? All the descriptions which we learn in the Mundaka Upanishad and all Upanishads, those are all stepping stones to come to this Nirguna Ishvara, formless God. That is the ultimate. And that is the substratum. That is Aksharam. Aksharam means it's formless. Therefore, it is it cannot be destroyed. If it cannot be destroyed, it is ever there, then it is birthless, deathless. Birth and death are two events in time. Time is born in consciousness. Consciousness is before time. So this is our goal of all spiritual study. What have we studied from verse number 19 onwards is this section which deals with immutable Brahman, Aksharam Brahma. We have seen 1 to 8 is a description of Paravidya, Aparavidya, what is Para, what is Apara. Introduction was given. Then we went to topic 2, 9 to 18, which talked about the higher knowledge, which is the description of the sixth mantra of the Upanishad, which is Yatadreshyam, Agrahyam, that which dealt with the full description of the real nature of Brahman. Then in the third topic, we started from 19th verse. We are on the 22nd verse now. 19th verse onwards describes the cause of the universe is Brahman. Till the 30th verse, we are going to only study creation. This creator is an intelligent cause as well as the material cause was said in verse number 19. It is the cause in which you can see both together. Vibhuti, I'll come back to you later. So this cause is both intelligent as well as material cause. How is it possible that we can have both together? The Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, gives the example of spider. It's a very famous example, often quoted by Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam, his commentary of the Upanishad. This mantra of this unique example of spider, which is the cause of the silk which it produces, and then it takes back the silk into its own stomach, is representation of the Maya Shakti, which brings the whole universe out and it takes back into itself. In verse number 20, the example of how from the earth so many different plants and herbs are produced. Similarly, from one Brahman, this entire universe comes out. In the 21st verse, the spider example is explained a little bit further. Now we are in the 22nd verse, which we will see today. The 22nd verse onwards is a continuation of the same topic, which is creation. Broadly speaking, you must understand that the Lord, the nature of the Creator is formless. That formless God is called as Nirguna Ishvara, formless God, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which is pure consciousness, pure existence, and pure happiness. Bliss. That is the nature. That Lord, when it manifests in the world, it is called as Lord with form. What we are experiencing as the world, you, me, the world of sentient beings and objects, insentient objects, all are nothing but that one principle. This is how Veda presents the universe. And how did that original Brahman, that creator, how did he produce the whole world is being explained from these verses from 22nd to 30. The whole process of creation is being explained. In this verse, 22nd, the author Vidyarana says, now I will explain to you the order of creation. In some Upanishads, the order is not mentioned, which is called as Akrama Srishti. No order. Straight away the world comes and the world goes out back into unmanifest condition. World comes, again goes to unmanifest condition. This is what is explained in a text called as Vichara Sagara. It is a text written by Nischala Dasa, very advanced text. In his book called Vichara Sagara, he explains Shrishti, creation, as Akrama, as Yugapat. Yugapat means it comes at one shot. This is one type. The second type is Krama. Krama means gradual development of the Srishti, evolution. Vidyaranya Swami is taking up the gradual evolution of Srishti. But one thing you should remember is ultimately Srishti will be negated. And pure Brahman, formless Brahman, will be taken as beyond the cause also when the Srishti is negated. The Krama Srishti is mainly meant for junior students of Vedanta who want to see the whole, because their mind cannot absorb the whole Srishti in one shot. So Krama Srishti is like a child in the womb, a mother. How does the mother give birth to a child? The child may develop into a huge sumo wrestler, but in the mother's womb, he is just a dot. So similarly, the whole creation is just a dot in Brahman. Another example which is given is the tree example. Like the seed, if you open up a banyan tree seed, you can't see anything in that seed. This is the example given in Chandogya Upanishad, where the student is asked to bring a seed. The teacher says, now, can you see the whole banyan tree in this seed? The student says, I can't see it. But this seed contains whole banyan tree, which grows into big trunk, leaves, fruits, and so on. It sprouts. These are the two examples which are given for junior students for Krama Srishti. What about this? The Akrama Srishti. Akrama means it's one simultaneous appearance of the whole universe. For that, the dream example is given. Swapna Drishtanta. Like how we generate a dream, and in the dream, we see a mother, we see a baby, we see a grandmother all at one time. And simultaneously, the whole scene comes up. So similarly is this whole waking state. In advanced Vedanta texts, it says this waking state is a huge dream of Ishvara, of Brahman. We are all parts of that big dream, a cosmic dream. Even in physics, you have Newtonian physics, which is the old one, and which is a traditional classical physics, and then you have quantum physics of Einstein and so on. So similarly, we have Krama Srishti, Akrama Srishti. The order of Srishti slowly is being explained here. The first thing which happens here is Tapasa. Bhakshamanena Tapasa. This is from the verse. Tapasa means visualization. Like a poet visualizes in his own mind the whole poem, or a painter, or a writer, or a producer of a film, he has the whole story in his mind, and then he starts slowly producing it. How does he do it? Visualization. Similarly, a music composer, he visualizes in his mind the type of the type of music which will go with the song. Similarly, Brahman, the creator, takes into consideration the entire karma phalas which the jivas have to exhaust in a particular srishti. That process of visualization is called as tapas. Brahma visualizes, and that is what in Sanskrit is called as tapas. And this expansion of an expression in the mind is like the sprouting of a plant from a seed condition. It bloats, the seed bloats before the plant comes out. Similarly, in the creation, before the Big Bang, the Maya Shakti, which is called as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, is in equilibrium, which is called as Prakriti. Now, the Srishti has to come from that Prakriti. The whole creation has to come from that seed condition, which is called as Prakriti or Maya. And then Brahman expands that Maya principle into the whole creation. Like how a mother bloats during pregnancy, similarly, Brahman during his visualization is in tapas. This portion of the slide is just a revision, so I'll skip this because this is just a repetition of what we have studied so far. In this verse, what is said is Brahman is the Jagat Karanam. He does tapas, austerity, and that is called as visualization. And then he expands into this whole creation. That is the essence of verse 22. Verse 23 explains how a seed gets swollen and becomes a sprout because of water in the ground. So similarly, Brahman is the creator. With the knowledge of what has to be created, he becomes effective. Angakaram utpadakam bijam. Seed with watering sprouts. Utshanam syar. It gets, the seed swells, expands because of water surrounding it. For the sake of Brahman, what is the water? The water is the karma phalam, the knowledge of what the jivas have to exhaust in a particular srishti. We are not talking about one small birth. Several births of the jivas are there in one srishti. So the pattern of the world, Srijayasya Buddhya, is visualized by the creator Brahman. And this is what it is in awareness principle. Without awareness, Brahman cannot even think. That awareness, consciousness is his nature. Same thing happens to us also. My nature is awareness, consciousness. I want to produce something in the world. In the light of awareness, I can plan. That awareness, consciousness is my real nature. Planning a building, planning a business, planning a simple cooking a dish, all these are only thoughts in the mind. They come and go. But the awareness principle, which is my nature, has no destruction. In Brahman also the same thing. Awareness is his nature. It cannot be destroyed. That is imperishable. Akshara. The knowledge of the world is Maya Shakti. What is required for the world is Maya Shakti, is nothing else but the mind of Ishvara. So this is the way the Upanishad presents the world. I mean, this will go on till 30th verse. The 24th verse continues the sprout, how it becomes the objects of How does the sprout become food? That is the example. A plant grows from a seed, it becomes a plant, the plant becomes the food, it gives the food. So Karana Prapancha, we all have studied Tattva Bodha. In that we know there is causal world, which is called as Karana Prapancha. We are talking now at that level of causal nature of the world. Three stages are there in creation: causal, subtle, physical, sthula. Causal is called Karana Prapancha. Subtle is called as Sukshma Prapancha. And Sthula universe is called as gross elements and products. So at the causal level, there is something called as unmanifest condition, which is called as Maya Shakti. That is what is said in this 24th verse. And that Maya Shakti manifests as the world in different forms. In what forms we'll see. So there is an unmanifest condition of the world, avyakta karana prapancha. That is what this 24th verse is teaching us. So this readiness of the universe, that is the sprouting of the universe, is before the subtle prapancha is created. Before the subtle Sukshma Prapancha is created. Sukshma Prapancha is responsible for Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Shariram is our mind. We are talking of much before the creation of the mind, everything. We are talking about the Karana Avastha. This verse 118 is the seed verse for many verses which are going to come now, 25, 26, 27 and all that. Tapasa chiyate Brahma. From the tapas of Brahman, the creative urge of Brahman, tapas means creative urge, came this joy of creation. And what is that joy? What did the joy produce? Suppose I create something, I feel happy. And what are the creations? Now first, what was created? Food was created, then prana was created, then the mind, then the bhutas, 5 elements, and then the world, which is the inert world. But the cause of all this is from karma phalam, which is the beginning. Annam normally means cooked rice, but here annam means it is bhogya prapancha, the objects which have to be consumed by the jivas for the fructification of their prarabdha karma. That is what which comes out. The whole world is what? We see trees, we see mountains, we see rivers, but all this is what? It is bhogya prapancha. It is useful for a jiva who is in this body to come for a short period of time, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, and then go back and then take another birth. That is how this world is created. And the whole jiva comes and goes, enjoys for a few years, again he comes back. Nothing to worry in death. The jiva will always, this is the process of creation. This is how the creation is. This world of waking state, this is how the Mundaka Upanishad presents to us. So, Karana Prapancha is in inactive state, which is called as unmanifest condition. Active stage is where the creation starts coming up. What is the steps involved? What is this? What are the krama? What is the order of creation? Number one, Karana Prapancha, then the sprouting, then Sukshma Prapancha, subtle universe, and then Sthula Prapancha, gross universe. So that is what is explained in this description here. And I'm not going to go through each one of them, but this is easy to understand. Once you have understood that these are steps involved, then we can understand the creation very easily. From the food, this is now the first stage is finished. The first stage is what? The first stage is Karana Prapancha, how it gets into the sprouting stage. Now the second stage is mentioned in 25th verse. What is produced in the second stage? The food is already ready now. The food means Bhogya Prapancha. From the food, the Upanishad says the prana, which is the power of action, that is produced. For all this, you should remember that the Mundaka mantra 118 is the main mantra on which Vidyaranya is giving 5, 6, 7 verses on this one verse. This Srishti will go on till this. This is the first chapter, first section. It will go to the second section of the first chapter also. So it is an explanation of how universe comes about. From that food, vital air is born, the power of action and mind. They come into existence. After that, what comes into existence? The 5 elements. The subtle universe creation is mentioned in this 25th verse. From the activated Karana Prapancha, the subtle creation, subtle body, always remember, is Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Pranas, Manas, and intellect. That is what consists of the subtle Sharira, subtle body. And the same thing seen in the cosmic level is the subtle elements first. Before the subtle elements are produced, there is a causal form of the subtle elements. Prana is the maintainer of the body. Therefore, prana upasana is given very high importance in Veda. Because of the breath only, the body survives. So you can meditate on the power of prana, which keeps this body alive. It is the finest version of matter, prana. And this prana can borrow the reflection from consciousness. The inert prana gets the reflection of consciousness, and then it becomes the life principle. Prana by itself is jadam. The air which you see outside is jadam. But when it goes into the body, it becomes the life principle, because the life principle has got Chaitanyam reflected in the prana. That prana with the Chaitanyam, with the consciousness reflected, becomes the life in the body, and then it can do different acts of pancha prana, all the digestion, circulation, ejection, all that is possible because of the Shakti. We have Kriya Shakti, we have Jnana Shakti, all that comes from the prana. That is what is explained in this verse. Prana is not an instrument, but it is a housekeeper. It maintains the house. Our Jnana Indriyas are working, my eyes are working, my ears are working because of Prana Shakti. The Prana has a Shakti, has a power that keeps the sense organs active. So that is why pranayama in yoga is extremely important. We take care of the quality of our breath through pranayama. The external world and the internal sense organs are connected because of this prana. Like a housewife is the prana of the family. She does not go out, but she maintains the house. Similarly, the prana in the body is the maintainer of the whole body. Sthula bhuta panchakam ajayate. Sthula bhutam means what? The gross elements are born from the subtle elements. Satyam has got two meanings. One is the Satyam with reference to the nature of Brahman. Satyam also means Bhuta Panchakam. The 5 elements is also called as Satyam. This is just a side information. It is comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There's a Murta description. Murta means form. Amurta means formless. This form and formless are the nature of creation. Form and formless. The formless is called as Satyasya Satya. The formless Nirgunam Brahma, the pure consciousness, is the Satyam of the whole universe. I mean, this is just an expansion, incidental point which comes in this verse. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Srishti in this verse. This is an example of Taittiriya. This is a verse from Taittiriya Upanishad, where the creator said, "Let me become many." Again, the same tapas is taken up in Taittiriya Upanishad. That's why a reference here is given. How Mundaka Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, they talk of similar creation methodology. It becomes manifest. The creator becomes manifest, it becomes unmanifest through the Shakti which is called as Maya Shakti. 26th verse talks about the third stage. From Sukshma Shariram, Sukshma Prapancha, comes the Sthula Prapancha. Sthula Prapancha means what? The whole world, all the 14 lokas. So the 26th verse talks about lokas, the heaven. There are different lokas, 14 lokas are there, which you can reach through different rituals. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka. These are all upper lokas. Then Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, Talatala. These are all the lower lokas. So these are all names of different lokas. If you Google it, you can find all the names. 7 upper lokas, 7 lower lokas was created by the Lord. Now, what are these lokas? Loka means it is a field. Kshetram, the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Field in which the Jiva comes and enjoys the fruits of actions and goes back. Lokayate Jiva iti anubhoyate iti lokaha. That which is experienceable by a Jiva. The sense organs are given to us to experience the external world. This is the creation. Without sense organs, the creation is useless. With the sense organs, without the sense objects, the sense organs are useless. So the both together, the sense organs which are Indriyam, the subtle universe, and the gross universe, they together form the entire universe for Jiva. See, you must not forget that the whole creation is for whom? It is for a Jiva, which is the indweller in this body. You are the Jiva in your body. I am the Jiva in my body. What do? I live in the world for 60, 70, 80 years, and then I enjoy my fruits of action as per my prarabdha karma. You also enjoy your fruits of action as per your prarabdha karma. And again, you come back to the world after another body, take up another body. That is what is called as Srishti. So, these 14 lokas are where the Jivas, they come, they perform certain rituals, they get the fruits of the rituals which they have done, and then they go back. This is how the cycle of creation is mentioned in the Veda. Because these are all Vedic society. You see this, if you see mantra number 6, now we are seeing the second chapter also of Mundaka Upanishad, where different sacrifices are mentioned, rituals are mentioned, so that different worlds can be enjoyed by the moon, by the Jivas. Mundaka Upanishad gives very detailed versions of the Veda Purva portion also in the second chapter. So here a mention is it's different types of rituals are mentioned. It's an introduction where how to go to different lokas through rituals is mentioned in this verse. 27th verse talks about transmigration. And here there is a Purva Paksha taken, a question from an object, somebody who objects to Vedantic teaching. He says, in the 6th verse, Brahman is described as Akshara, which means it cannot change. It is Nirvikaram. But later, now you are saying Brahman is the Bhuta Yoni. See, this is a question. This is how the Swami Vidyaranya tries to explain to us some intricate aspects of Vedanta by a question-answer method of trying to say how one Brahman, which is changeless, imperishable, how can it be changing universe? That is what is the question. in this 27th verse. How can this world come into existence if Brahman is changeless? For that, what is the answer? The answer is milk changes to curd, which means the attribute itself changes. Gold changes to ring bangle. Only the shape changes. Brahman does not change. It is nirvikara. The cause is changeless. It is a higher order of reality. That is what we should understand. We don't talk about a change like how milk becomes curd or gold becomes ring, bangle, and so on. We talk about a changeless condition of a higher order and a lower order. Like a waker and a dreamer. The waker himself is the dreamer. Waker is a higher order of reality. Brahman is of a higher order of reality, and the Vyavaharika world is of a lower order. It is because of Maya Shakti, this lower order is created. That is how we should understand this question of the of a Purva Pakshi. So this question is being explained in this verse, and in the next, the answer is given. I gave you the answer so that you can relate to the question. What is the answer given? Brahman is free from all the upadis of the world. Brahman associated with Maya becomes and creates the world. Without Maya Shakti, Brahman is pure Brahman, pure consciousness, like what we experience in our sleep state. In our sleep state, what happens? The whole, my body, all my actions, everything has gone into my causal nature, Karana Prapancha. But in that state also, I, the consciousness, I, the substratum, am there. So similarly, because of the Shakti of Maya, which makes Brahman, which makes that Nirguna Brahman omniscient, it makes it omnipotent. So the question of how pure consciousness becomes this whole universe is explained. Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman is Nityam, Satyam, Ekam, Sarvagatam, Nirvikaram, Avyayam. These are all the essential features or the indicators of that pure consciousness, pure Brahman, which is called as the Swarupa Lakshana. See, whenever we talk about Lakshanam, there are two types of Lakshanam, Swarupa Lakshanam and Tatastha Lakshanam. These are, I'm giving you a little bit more detail of technical language of Vedanta. Swarupa Lakshana means it is talking about its nature, like Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Nityam, Satyam, Ekam. Ekam is non-dual. Sarvagatam, it is all pervading. Nirvikaram, changeless. Avyayam means partless. Now these are all the nature of that pure consciousness. How do I express that pure consciousness with reference to the world? With reference to the world, I say it is the Jagat Karanam. It is the Srishti Karanam, Sthiti Karanam, Laya Karanam. It is the cause of the world, creation, sustenance, and the resolution of the universe happens where? In Brahman. And how does this happen? Because of a Shakti. That Shakti is called as Maya Shakti. See how the Upanishad tries to explain the nature of the whole universe. And then the beauty is, it will end saying this whole universe is in manifest condition, unmanifest condition. And then ultimately, you see that universe is nothing but it exists as a power in that pure consciousness. For example, the speaking power, walking power, singing power, which we have. Similarly, Brahman has this Maya Shakti. Are you able to understand the Shakti aspect now? How do I describe my speaking power to you? It is a Shakti power. My running power, my grasping power, my lifting power, singing power, talking power. All these are powers. In this inert body, there is a power. That power is called as Shakti. Similarly, in this creation, there is a Shakti. The indweller is called as Jiva. Jivatma, Paramatma. Paramatma means the Atma, which is the self of the entire universe. That is why it is called as Paramatma. Whereas Jiva is only one Sharira. These are all beautiful sections of Mundaka Upanishad, and how Vidyaranya brings out the essence of these mantras from Mundaka Upanishad. You can see. See, he has written in his own style these verses. 100 verses are written to explain how creation is taking place as per the Mundaka Upanishad. Maya is explained in Shvetashvatara Upanishad in a very famous verse. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat mayinam tu cha maheshwaram. Know that the nature of Maya is the nature of God, because he is the Lord of Maya. And what are the beings in the world? What is the whole world? The whole world is nothing but Maya Shakti. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also has a similar mantra, which asks us to meditate on this Maya Shakti as the form of the whole creation, the infinite creation. Whatever you see in the creation is only one power of one cosmic Purusha, which is called as Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita, we have this famous verse in the 6th verse of the 4th chapter. Ajopi san abhyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swama vadishtaya sambhavayatma mayaya. Here again the word Maya. See how Maya is coming in all Bhagavad Gita. It comes in Shvetashvara Upanishad, it comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Maya is the Shakti of the cosmic power. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapatyante maya metam tarantite. This Maya consists of 3 gunas: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Very difficult for a Jiva to cross these 3 gunas and see who owns this Maya Shakti. That Jiva, which it thinks today is under the grip of Maya, gets moksha when it realizes that it is not under the grip of Maya, but it is the Lord of Maya. which is Paramatma Swarupam. This is what Bhagavad Gita says, very difficult to cross. But as a seeker, you can cross it because you surrender to me. That's what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. You surrender to me means surrender to the higher principle, which is consciousness. Then this illusion will go away. So Brahman with Maya Shakti is called as Sopadikam Brahma. That means it is with an Upadi called as Maya. Without the Upadi, it is called as Nirupadikam Brahma, which is its real nature. If you exclude the Maya principle, then Brahman is not even a Karanam. It is beyond cause and effect. If you include the Shakti, it is the Karanam. So Maya is an Upadhi. Upadhi means it is a medium of transaction for that pure Brahman. Okay, so that is the verse. This slide talks about some revision, which I am not taking. We have already done this. It is whenever you are doing your personal study, you can go through this. It is just a revision of what we have studied so far. Dakshinamurti Stotram Bijasyamankuro Jagadidam Prang Nirvikalpam Punaha also talks about creation. How the creation comes from a bijam. And how from a seed, how this whole tree comes out, similarly from Brahman, with the power of Maya Shakti, which is like a Mahayogi, like a magician, who can bring out similarly so many things. Similarly, that Brahman can bring out this whole creation. And whoever teaches me, that is Lord Dakshinamurti. I bow down in prostration to that Lord who teaches me the nature of this whole creation. The essence of all this is to understand that there is a potential form for creation, which is unmanifest condition, and there is a manifest condition which we experience every time. Our experiences are there in the Jagrata Avastha, which is the manifest version. To understand that there is a potential condition of this Jagrata Avastha in sleep state, that is called as the Karana Avastha, the seed state. The same seed state is there before creation also. Before the Pralaya Avastha, this seed state was there. We are only experiencing what is a sample of that Pralaya Avastha before the creation. How was that state? That is explained to us by our own experience in our sleep state. In Tattva-bodha, we have seen the definition of Maya. Maya kaha? Brahmashraya sattva-rajas tamo guna atmika Maya asti. This is Tattva-bodha, definition of Maya. What is Maya? Maya is of three qualities, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And where does this Maya exist? In the pure Brahman. See how creation is explained is without Maya, we cannot explain creation. We always give this example of a crystal and a flower. Upadhi. This red hibiscus flower, if it is kept in front of a crystal, it becomes, and you look at from the other side, you will see that it is a red crystal. Similarly, Jiva, the pure consciousness, with the upadhi of the world, with the upadhi of Maya Shakti, we see and we experience the world. But who are we? We are like the crystal. Pure crystal, pure consciousness. That is my real nature. Satchid Ananda Swarupa. But with the body, mind, and the world, upadhi means medium. I experience this world. I means what? The Jiva, which is pure, experiences the world. And then it goes back into unmanifest condition, which is always a reflection of that pure consciousness. So Vedantic definition of God is Brahman and Maya Upadhi. Maya is nothing but Mrs. Brahman. And that is the Jagat Karana. Without that Maya Shakti, Brahman is pure. It is not the Jagat Karana. This is very important point to understand Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman principle which is beyond the Maya Shakti, which is experienced during the sleep state. There is something which is beyond that sleep state, which is called as Brahman. And this Maya Shakti, it didn't come, it is always there in Brahman. Maya is always non-separable from Brahman. Parvati and Parameshwara, they are always together. Together they create the universe. Brahman by itself without Maya can't be the Karanam. That is why it is called as Nirupadikam Brahma. See, all these verses of creation are meant for us to know that I have Brahman. First of all, to understand that pure Brahman has a nature by itself, without the world. And with the Maya Shakti, it creates the entire universe. Similarly, I have to know that this body mind is an incidental property. It is not my essential property. What is my essential property? Essential property is pure consciousness. And do I experience it? Yes, every day in sleep, I experience myself as pure consciousness. Only thing I didn't know that is my nature. Upanishad is trying to come and tell me, correct your vision of the world. Don't see yourself as the body, mind, or the world. These are all sthula prapancha. There is another reality which is beyond what the sense organs can perceive. In the Bhagavad Gita, this is very easy, very well put by Lord Krishna. Mama yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. I am the yoni of the whole creation. I am the womb of this great Brahman. When he says I am the womb means what? He's talking about Maya Shakti. This Maya Shakti is the womb of the entire creation. And that expresses in our body as what? Reflected consciousness. So I have explained to you, without Maya Shakti, this Brahman is not even a cause. With Maya Shakti, it becomes the creator. Whatever I have explained to you is given in these verses here, and you can study Mundaka Upanishad. I have mentioned here verses 125 to 151. 27 verses are there in Mandukya Karika. if you study this portion, you will understand Maya Shakti. Similarly, in Panchadasi, 6th chapter, Chitradeepa Prakaranam, Maya is explained very beautifully. So, but Maya is easy to understand if somebody explains to you properly. So, with the explanation, if you go and read those verses, it's easy. Okay. Maya is a very big topic in Vedanta, and a lot of advanced texts, they give a lot of reasoning and a lot of details to explain, because it's a power. The moment you understand it's a power, like your talking power, speaking, singing power, running power, similarly, world has got that power to create. And it is jadam by nature, it becomes sentient only with that Shakti, with that pure consciousness. Bhagwan is Sarvajnaha. Jiva is Alpajna. I have very limited power, limited Maya Shakti. Bhagwan as God is omnipotent. Bhagwan means it is the creator himself who is, all the powers are there with him. All the knowledge is there. Okay. You cannot know Lord without his Maya Shakti. Lord means that Maya Shakti. 29th verse is just a comparison between Jiva, Atma and Bhagwan. What is the knowledge of a Jiva? What is the knowledge of Paramatma? Brahman is Sarvajnaha. He knows all the things of all the Jivas put together. So, then he creates the universe. He has in his background the entire karma phalas which the Jivas have to enjoy when they are born in this universe. That is what is called as Bhagavan's omniscient power. There is nothing outside the mind of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is everything in the universe. He is Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman. And therefore, he is called as Karanam Brahma. This is a very famous mantra of Mundaka Upanishad. This particular verse is commenting on 119. Yes, Sarvajnaha Sarvabit Asya Jnanamayam Tapaha. Brahman, the pure consciousness, is aware of all the happenings of all the jivas at all times. Hence, he is called as Sarvajna. Why is he called as Sarvajna? Because his nature is consciousness. As consciousness, awareness principle in this body, he knows all my activities and he can control them. With the help of this consciousness power, only the mind works, the sense organs work. In Kena Upanishad is very beautifully explained, but what it says here is this one universal power has a manifest condition, unmanifest condition. Manifest because of the residual karma of different srishtis, different jivas. The whole srishti is governed by the law of karma. The srishti is Lord's karma phala dhata function. That is how Veda describes creation. This is a very important point in studying when you are studying spiritual, when you are doing the spiritual study, is that law of karma decides srishti. What type of srishti, what type of creation is decided by the blueprint given by the jivas. Like a dream. For example, how a dream is produced because of the vasanas in the mind. Now, all the vasanas of all the jivas put together, when it has to come and manifest in the Jagrata Avastha, that is the blueprint. That is what is called as the tapas of Brahman. So why has Bhagavan created 14 lokas? To exhaust the karma phalas. Bhagavad Gita says, Sammoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshasti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. If you come to me with devotion, I will be able to explain to you, to Arjuna he says, Lord Krishna says, I will explain to you this Maya Shakti. And then you will cross over your raga and dvesha. So Manushya Janma is to exhaust the Punya Papa Karma. We use the Veda Pramanam to come out of this whole cycle of birth and death. To see, the cycle of birth and death is nothing but karma, action producing likes and dislikes, dislikes and likes and dislikes come in the form of vasanas. The vasanas are get exhausted when we do again actions. Again, the cycle continues. But the whole thing is destroyed when we come to know that I am beyond the vasanas. I am the Om. I am the consciousness principle. That knowledge destroys all the Sanchita karma. Bhagavad Gita explains this very beautifully in the 4th chapter. Yathidhamsi samidoknihi bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Like any fuel you put in the fire, it will destroy. Similarly, through the knowledge of Atma, you can destroy all your Sanchita karma. Okay, so these are all some additional points to see in the creation theory, which Vidyaranya has explained. The 30th verse, it concludes the first chapter, first section, 9 mantras. This is the section which I said, the creation section started from the 19th verse. It goes on till the 30th verse. The immutable Brahman, imperishable Brahman, how it creates the universe for the jivas to come as per the law of karma to this world, enjoy the fruits of their actions. And also this Srishti has got a section by moksha you can come out of the cycle. That is the total creation. That is how you should understand. The cause of the world is non-dual. It is of a higher order. Then that cause, which is Brahman, which is Aksharam, is known. Then this whole world becomes known. See how this section ends so beautifully. Knowing that cause, Shaunaka asked the question, how do I understand the world. Understand the effect which is called as the world by knowing its cause. If Brahman, which is the cause, with Maya Shakti, then you call it as Paravidya. Okay, so this is Paravidya, Aparavidya. Eka Vijnanena Advaitam Brahma Sthapayati. When you know that Brahman, the essence is known, we see the sentient beings, we know the essence of the sentient beings, which is the Chara Prapancha, and the insentient objects. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaeva Deva Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinaha. Very famous mantra of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Brahman is one single reality in which the whole universe comes and goes. So with this question, with this portion, the 30th mantra, Vidyaranya closes the first chapter, first section, the 9 verses. 30 verses taken for 9 verses of the Upanishads. Okay, so this is just a revision portion. This is that mantra 116, the 6th mantra of the Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, the very famous mantra, which talks about the nature of Brahman. Yatadreshyam agrahyam agotram avarnam achakshusotram tadapani padam nityam vibhum sarvagatam sukshmam. This is a very famous mantra. This is the most important mantra in the first section. That mantra says that Brahman is the Bhuta Yoni. All the beings, they rest in this Brahman. In whichever loka you are there, 14 lokas you are there, you rest in this one pure consciousness. The next verse, 31st verse, I will probably introduce it today, and then next week we'll continue this verse. Okay, the 31st verse, the other knowledge which we have to understand, Vidyananda says, is the knowledge by which we perform the rituals. In the second section, there are 13 mantras. We are talking about the first chapter, second section. Mundaka has got 3 chapters, 2 sections each. We have finished the first section in the 30th verse. Now we are beginning the second chapter, second section of the first chapter, which has got 13 mantras. Now in this section, purely it is dealing with how to do rituals, what are the different types of yajnas are there, what type of fires are there, what are the names of the fires. All this is given. This is the Karma Kanda portion of the Veda, which dwells more on the ritual side. So I won't go into the depth of all these verses because they are not so relevant for our study now. In the olden days, it was very, very essential. Because you see, the Karma Kanda portion is mainly useful for those people who do rituals for certain benefits. Kamya Karma benefits. You want to achieve rain, you want to get cattle, you want to have healthy, long life, you do a ritual. If you want to go to Swarga, you do a ritual. So the advantage, so what Swami Vidyaranya is, in this particular verse, he just introduces the second section. He says that the knowledge of the Veda, which deals with the performance of the rituals, is going to be now taken up. That is what he says in this verse. And but one thing you should note, that all these benefits which we get from the rituals is temporary. Anitya phalam. It is not nitya phalam. Nitya phalam is only one, realization of my nature. Whereas all other benefits which we can get through the rituals is anityam. Agama pahin tvam. Agama means it arrives and it goes. As long as you have the punyam of the ritual, it will be there. Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. Tetam bhuktva sarvalokam vishalam shine punya martyalokam vishanti. Till the punyam is there, you will be there in Swarga. Once your punyam is over, you will be coming back to this world one more time. So this verse of 30 verse, basically we should note that all karma phalams are dukkha mishritvam, bandhakatvam. It can't give the knowledge which is required for higher knowledge for moksha. The aparavidya means the lower knowledge. The lower knowledge is for karma kanda portion and upasana kanda portion. And the benefits are limited. 31 to 46 verses of this 100 verses, 31 to 46, 16 verses, they talk about the second section, which is apara vidya. Okay, that is what is mentioned in these 16 verses. Like I said, I will not be going through the verses in deep, but I will run through them so that you get a glimpse of what these verses are. Apara vidya has got twofold benefits. One is Shrauta. Okay, this is just a side point. You know, there are Gayatri mantra. In Gayatri mantra, people who have got the sacred thread, they do Shrauta Gayatri. People who don't have sacred thread, they do Smarta Gayatri. Smarta Gayatri, how does it chant? How does it go? This is what is this Smarta Gayatri, which is given here. Some people, they have this question. I don't have thread ceremony. Can I chant? But then for them, the Veda itself prescribes this mantra. Okay, what I'll do is I'll stop here. We'll start with the 32nd verse next week. And I will run through these 16 verses pretty fast. Like I said, the reason is they are not very relevant for us. It will, but still it will give you some idea of these, how Vidyaranya brings these topics of Mundaka Upanishad, how he explains it, we'll see it. Okay. So we'll end today's session and start with 32nd verse next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, what I'll do is I'll go run through the chat and see if there are any major things to discuss. Does Manikandan is asking, does each Jiva have their own Jagrat world like each Jiva has their own dream world? Are all Jiva sharing a single Jagrat world, but the experience of various based on karma phalam? No. Jagrat world is common for all of us. That is why it is called as Ishvara Srishti. Jagrat Avastha, there are two types of worlds. One world is Ishvara Srishti, which is common to all of us. The second is called as Jiva Srishti. Now, this is the main topic we are discussing on in the Wednesday class. So, Srishti is one, but due to karma phalas, the Jiva, whatever it brings in his own mind, and the Jiva Sakshi sees those thoughts, that is the Jiva Srishti. That is the Jiva's own creation, which is because of his karma phala. See, the thoughts which come in our mind is the fructification of karma phala. This principle you should understand, and that is what is the central law of karma. Why do you have certain thoughts? Why do I have certain thoughts? Why somebody else has another certain thoughts? And why these thoughts at this time and not tomorrow, not yesterday? This is the cycle of law of karma. And this explains to us through this law of karma, the Veda explains to us how to see our experienced world. We all have experiences, and we all have to give an explanation. Veda has to give an explanation to all our experiences. Now, how it gives, it says the whole world is nothing but operating with the cosmic law of karma. That is why this creation Srishti Vidyaranya has taken so much pain to understand and explain to us the creation in such a big depth. Okay, so Manikandan, I think I have answered this. Preeti is asking how the law of karma came for the Jiva in the first place, as when we manifest in there can't be any karma which couldn't have taken. Okay, now this is a theory. Okay, see, there are two main schools of Srishti. If you study Mundaka Upanishad, and if you, especially in Mandukya, I mean, that is where Srishti is explained very beautifully, but it takes time. It takes time to understand the Karikas. 225 Karikas are there. Does world exist before and then it comes back again? Or is a new world created all the time? This is what your question is. Actually, is a question in Mundaka Upanishad. Ajati Vada means that there is that creation is a new creation all the time. There is another theory which says that a potential creation which exists in the Pralaya Avastha, that only comes back, and then that is a cycle. In one Srishti, you do not have exhaustion of all the karmas. Another Srishti, that means this Srishti is a continuation of the previous Srishti. Previous Srishti is a continuation of the previous Srishti. There is no first karma. There is no, that is why it is called as beginningless. Srishti is beginningless. There is no first karma, it is a cycle. You see, in a linear line, you can put a starting point and an ending point. But in a cycle, in a circle, there is no starting point and ending point. It is always there is no beginning, there is no end. You go round and round and round. That is what is the Jiva. The Jiva is going in this circle, Srishti after Srishti. So the law of karma is there. Whether you are in the previous Srishti, this Srishti, the Jivas are Anadi. But Jiva, the moment it realizes that it is Brahman, this whole karma cycle is washed away. That is what it says in the Veda. The Veda is the only proof, because this is Aupaurusham. That means this is not human knowledge. This is beyond senses. Anything beyond the senses is the only source of knowledge is the Veda. Does God exist or does God does not exist? The only proof for the existence of God is the Veda. My eyes will never be able to prove existence of God. Logic cannot prove existence of God. Similarly, law of karma is proved only because it is there in the Veda. And the Veda says this is a Srishti, is a cyclic process. There is no first karma for a Jiva. So don't get into the cycle of logically trying to understand first karma phalam, when was I born? The idea is, who am I? Am I this Jiva which is coming and going, coming into this world every day in the morning, going back to sleep in the night, enjoying for that limited 10-12 hours some experiences in the world? You know, if you try to explain this, there is no, you cannot get a logical reason. The only way to find out is, how can I get out of this creation of this cycle of birth and death? That is what you should focus on, moksha. How to get moksha? The same Upanishad teaches me that there is another reality. Try to spend more time, more questions on the reality, on the subject matter of that Paramatma having two natures. One is the changing nature, one is the changeless nature. I am the Jiva, I have two natures, the changing nature and the changeless nature. I try to reduce my objectification of the changing nature as much as possible, and try to focus on the changeless. The changeless consciousness, pure existence. The more my mind gets attuned and starts repeating and thinking, and there is, see, first of all, we must understand there is a higher God, which is eternal. That is the first step of growing in spirituality. And then understand that I am also of a similar nature. I am not this body mind, which is there, listening, talking, understanding, not understanding. This is a lower nature. Okay? Okay, then Prana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, okay. Since Srishti is due to karma phalam of each Jiva, does each Jiva will have their own? Okay, that is what is there. Akrama Srishti also due to Maya Shakti? Yes. Akrama Srishti, you see, Akrama Srishti means you don't talk about the Panchabhutas, you don't talk about the Taittiriya Upanishad description of from Atma came Akasha, from Akasha came Vayu, Vayu to Agni, Agni to Prithvi, no, Jalam and Prithvi. This is Krama Srishti. Akrama Srishti means that pure Brahman flashes this universe. Exactly like I flash my dream universe. In the dream universe, do I flash one by one? I produce the elements and then no, nothing. It is bang. So in Vichara Sagara, this is mentioned very beautifully. For a senior student, he will say this entire Srishti is because he has been soaked in the Veda for quite a long time. His mind can understand Akrama Srishti. Akrama Srishti is the projection of the universe. Like I said, if your mind can accept that Jiva is, that Ishvara is present in this universe, this whole creation is a swapna of Ishvara, like Ishvara swapna. I am only a part of that swapna of Lord. If your mind can accept it, then it is easy to understand Akrama Srishti. Akrama Srishti is also due to Maya Shakti, but it is one shot, Yugapat. The word used is Yugapat. Instantaneously, the creation comes. Instantaneously, the creation goes back into Avyakta-avastha. Ram Kumar is saying, isn't yoga, karma, upasana is to improve the focus of mind? Yes, absolutely right. All these are all stepping stones to improve the quality of our mind. The moment my mind is ready, it will go for the higher knowledge. There is no doubt about it. That is the way creation is. Rituals are for the body, mind, for self, pure coin existence does not exist. For this is okay. So rituals is only for the body and mind, not for Atma. Atma does not require rituals. If I say I am Atma, the pure consciousness, blissful nature, that's all. Monks still perform rituals. Why? They are doing the rituals for teaching the ignorant people that there is a higher reality. You can reach the highest by doing rituals also, but it is a stepping stone. You come to Vedas, you can know immediately your nature as the self, pure consciousness. Okay. Vijaya is asking, saying ideas to get the transmigration, not to sense when I'm stuck there. Okay. Is Akrama Srishti similar to how ornament is to gold? There is no time period for ornament to be gold. No. Akrama Srishti is not like golden ornament. Gold ornament, there is a time involved. And that is Krama Srishti. It is slow process. That is Akrama Srishti, there is only one example, which is the dream example. Exactly like the dream comes up. In a dream, for a dreamer, the dream is real. Make a note of this. In a dream, for a dreamer, the dream world is real. In the waking, for the waker, the waking world is real. The moment the waker wakes up to his super waker status as pure consciousness, this waking world becomes a dream. Okay, that is what is called as Akrama Srishti. How you can use Akrama Srishti for reaching the highest in a split second. Okay, now I'll throw the floor. Do we necessarily have to know Maya to know Brahman, or know Mrs. Brahman to know Brahman first? Okay, good question. Excellent. Shama, this is the best question of the day. Do we know first? Do we know Mrs. Brahman and then we come to know Brahman, or we first know Brahman and then come to know Mrs. Brahman? Good question. Yeah, Shama, go ahead. Yeah. Can you talk now?
No, now I can. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't unmute. Hari Om Shri Guruji. I mean, you're just doing an incredible job, but funny, you actually raise a storm. What can I do? Yeah. And so unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know what I should say. So I've been struggling with this, and this is just from today morning. So just to give an idea of, I've been doing what is to know and what is to not to know. So this is it's just some thoughts which I've written, if allow me to rattle it. I have known, so far, I have known what is not to be known. Alas, I do not know what must be known. The truth within there, when shall the day dawn, O Lord, only if you shine thine divine light. For I know all the knowledge of the world does not even begin to show my true nature. In vain have I spent my days and nights looking for thine light in the wrong places. You do not live in the dark dungeons of the human mind, full of falsity. The human mind is but chasing its own tail. Round and round it goes in this merry-go-round. The light it does not see, oh my mind. Will you not shut the noise outside, such that I can hear my master speak? May I at last hear the true sound of wisdom, know what you believe to be goodness and beauty in the ways of the world is surely to know there is darkness within their souls. Move fast even from the near and dear ones. So I'm telling myself, move fast even from the near and dear ones. As you see, you alone know the truth. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. In other words, what I'm questioning is there anything from anyone or from any of the worldly knowledge that I need to know still, and that is really all Maya. So obviously I understand all that I see, all that I know of the world so far is nothing but Maya.
Yes, you're right.
But
Perfect.
is there an exit, in terms of, because there is that big barrier, which I find it very, very difficult. And I'm thinking maybe there is no shortcut. Even if you're going to meet the king, you have to first become friends with the guards, then perhaps, finally reach up to the generals, plead with them, and then say, oh, please, can you allow me the darshan of the king? And then I may have a chance.
Yeah.
So I am just want to know, do I have any shortcut, or can...
The only shortcut is the Veda. There is nothing else except the Veda. The Veda is the shortcut for all of us. The Veda gives us the window to look at that eternality, which can be seen by a mind which is assisted with the knowledge of the Veda. Your own mind, you use the Vedic knowledge to look at what is that window which is being shown to you by Veda, the window of eternality, the window of Brahmanhood.
But in the meantime, how do I actually relate to the world?
Okay, the way you relate to the world is while in the world, when you are in the world, you cannot escape the power of Maya.
This is what I'm asking.
You cannot escape the power of Maya. That is, we are in the world in the triangular format. You cannot escape the triangular format while being in the world.
Would it be reasonable to say, hear the least, see the least, and do the least? Would that be a reasonable strategy?
No.
So that
hear the maximum, see the maximum is the way. It is not see the least, because what you see, the only thing you should understand is this Mayic world is a false world. That's all.
But yet I have to deal with it.
Deal with it, but you have to. Your mind is in the world. It is part of this Jagrata Avastha. You cannot escape.
But how do I make sure that I do what is the most appropriate,
Okay, you will come to know that you are doing the most appropriate when you are in touch with the Vedas. You see, like you are in touch with the Veda this evening. The mind is exposed to something which is outside this Maya world. The Veda, when you are dwelling on the Veda, especially the Upanishad, they are very powerful. Again and again, it will show you that glimpse of Atma, that glimpse of Brahman. It will show you it, your mind, with the help of the Vedic verses, will be able to see that which the eyes cannot see, the mind cannot see. This is the only method, because Vedic mantras are the mirror. You keep the mirror in front, you can see what your physical eyes cannot show you.
So I don't need to know any
Nothing.
worldly knowledge to direct my ways.
The most important knowledge you need to know about the world is, it is the world of Maya Shakti. This Shakti is very powerful. My mind is a part of this Shakti.
So whether I do a right thing or I make a mistake is okay.
It is a part of this world. You don't question too much about some mistakes you have made. It's okay. Doesn't matter. It's a part and parcel of this cosmic world. There are so many.
You know, say for example, if I do a certain action, which tomorrow I learn that it was not very wise.
Yes. This
is that okay?
Yeah, it was okay because it had to happen. That's all. Accept it that it had to happen.
God.
You see, yesterday I was very angry with somebody. Why? If I think about it, why today? The only answer is acceptance. It had to happen, it happened. I don't dwell again on it. I have the free will to dwell right now, keep my mind free as much as possible. Live the life. Every minute of your life is an opportunity to be totally aware in the present. That will give you the happiness of life. Be aware all the time. Be aware. Yes, I'm aware. I am consciously aware. That is my real nature. That is the power of now. That is, if the mind comes, it is because of prarabdha. You can't avoid it. You can't say that mind stop thinking. You don't think, it will think. It's a monkey. It will think it. If you say don't think, it will think.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping my best option perhaps is, if I can, you know, like the Lord himself, who's enjoying all this Mahalila play that he has created, if I can also be not only playing my part on the stage, but also sitting in the audience and clapping and just like, you know, and the only time when I perhaps should feel upset is if I haven't played my part well. You know, like I've been, yeah.
See, the moment you feel guilty of something, at that time you bring the teaching. You see, whenever you are in the world, if your mind is involved, it's not that all the things you keep on thinking again. It's only certain aspects of the thoughts which strike you, for which you feel I should have done. That is what is papam. That is the papam portion which reminds you. It's a guilt feeling. Now, that is when you have to bring the teaching. If good things happen, you are helping people, and it goes on. There's no, your mind never thinks of those things again. It is you see, this is the nature of the human mind. The nature of the mind is that it flows. You know, the mind it's a flow. It's a continuous flow, like the Ganga, you know. If you watch the river Ganga at any time, it's a continuous flow of water. Continuous flow. That is the same thing is that mind. No stopping. Nobody can stop this. No, Ishvara himself cannot stop this human mind. Impossible. That is the Karana Prapancha. That is the Maya Shakti.
It's not fair.
It's, but it is that is how the world is. That's all. You just see, as a human being, as a seeker, what can we do? We
I mean,
cannot.
I feel angry with the Lord himself, to say that he knows precisely what I need. He knows precisely what I am. And it's really simple and easy for him to actually show me the correct direction and sense of living, whatever I have to live. So I feel that's not fair.
Have the Shraddha and Bhakti towards the Lord, live the life.
Yeah, that looks like my only hope,
Only hope. Have the Shraddha and the Bhakti and let the life move on.
Prabhu, tum hai, bolte
That's
jao,
it.
main sunti
Yes.
jaungi.
That's all. That is the only prayer you can make. Let me just go on. That's it. There is
Thank you, Shekharji. Thank you for all your patience of hearing nonsensical questions.
Thank you. Okay. I think there were some questions. Vijaya, you wanted to ask something? And Jacqueline is raising her hand. Arjun is okay. Arjun, can you tell me what you want?
Namaste, sir. It's Pinky again.
Yeah.
Sir, I have very basic question. I'm not Gyani or very nice student like Shama Didi.
Oh, Baba.
I have very, very basic question. Sir, whenever I listen to you, everything seems so easy.
Correct.
So easy. I think like I'm getting everything. So Shravanam part is very easy, seems very easy. But when I start reading it again, or when I start doing mananam on these things, I just go blank.
Correct.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, that is it is very, very natural, because during Shravanam, your mind is focused on what you are listening, and it is able to go in the direction of what the teaching is. The teaching is these mantras are able to open your mind and look at your mind and telling the mind to go in a particular direction. And your mind is able to do it. That is a big achievement. Now, you can't do that in Mananam. It is a natural obstacle which everybody faces, not only you. The reason is your mind, if it is without the Vedic mantra, or in a class like this, when you are learning, when your mind is without that assistance of the Veda, it is like a volcano springing thoughts after thoughts after thoughts, unwanted thoughts about all types of things in the world. That is the nature of that mind. But with practice, slowly, after some time, you will be able to do manana. Just be patient. Let more Shravanam happen. It will be more powerful to train your mind not to erupt those volcanic thoughts and reduce those thoughts, and then you start manana.
Ji, sir.
Okay.
Ji, sir. And then
take a little bit of time. That's all. You see, you need a little bit more time for Shravana.
Okay. So feeling voidness or emptiness within, or a strong pull inside, is that okay? I mean, is it normal?
Which one? What is it?
Like when I try to understand these things by my own, after the lecture, I try to read these things, or read the PDFs, or so I feel a very strange voidness within me. The emptiness.
Yeah.
And it makes me nervous. that time. Sometimes my limbs start shivering, and sometimes I feel very strange that time. I mean, it seems like where I'm heading towards,
No,
right?
no. You see, what I suggest you do is you do more of chanting. That will help you. Do you do any chanting at all?
जी sir, I do Bhagavad Gita chanting.
हाँ ठीक है. So you keep continuing your Bhagavad Gita chanting. Don't do this rereading and all that for the time being.
Okay.
Spend more time in chanting. That will help you to bring down that voidness.
And is there any basic book which can explain these terms for the beginners like me that can help?
Yeah, basic book is the Tattva Bodha. See, in Tattva Bodha, you will have Maya, you will have, there are 5 lectures of mine in Tattva Bodha. It's there in the website. You can see it. If you don't have, I can send it to you. Tattva Bodha, yeah? That is the basic. Once you have learned Tattva Bodha, and then you also try to do in your own free time, try to do Atma Bodha. These two, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, these are 2 fundamental texts. Just listen to it. No need to do anything. Just keep listening the talks which are there. You will understand what is that basic Atma and what is Anatma. The most important thing you should understand, you will get from Tattva Bodha. Okay, so you read it, you listen to the Tattva Bodha 5 sessions, and Atma Bodha, there are some talks on that. These 2 are the fundamental. And then you can start learning Bhagavad Gita, the talks which I have given on Bhagavad Gita. You try to do it on your own whenever you have free time. But keep attending these talks, because these talks are very powerful. It can hasten your process of spiritual understanding.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Jacqueline, you have the question?
Yeah, Mr. Shekhar, coming back to the ritual.
Yes.
So the ritual itself, perhaps because you were just talking about mantra, not you were, I mean, just raise a mantra. Ritual and mantra, basically they are equivalent. And as a human body mind, like what I was just taking a monk as an example.
Yeah.
That means ritual and mantra, they are necessary for a human mind and body. However, if it is the pure consciousness itself, in fact, mantra and ritual are not necessary at all, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Yeah, but then it's a bit to me. I'm like raising it in a way that as I am a pure consciousness, and that means I am not 100% in a higher self, and therefore I need the ritual and the mantra to raise me into the next level. Is that what it's supposed to be?
They can help you, but there are other means also, like repeated listening to the scriptures will also help you to rise to that higher level.
Yeah, so that means the ritual and mantra. I mean, of course, mantra itself, and for ritual for those people who have not listening to the scripture, I think it's normal, right? For Chinese or for whoever, they
yes, you're right.
Do ritual.
Correct.
You know?
Yes.
So in that aspect, in fact, it is a means, and a mantra is also a means to raise a human body and mind to another level. Just like you were
That's
just
correct. Yes.
saying to Sonny. In fact, by listening to you, following you 3 years, I actually transform into certain way. That means it will raise me into the higher level, which I may not knowing, but because of listening to you in all the Upanishad and all those, I reached that that state, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's still important. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, see, the rituals and mantras are all for certain cultures where if you are born and brought up in that particular culture, you have certain rituals. But one thing which is very basic is rituals are meant for getting benefits of this loka, this world. Suppose I want to have a child, suppose I want money. If I do some certain rituals, it will help me. Rituals will only give me fruits, which is not permanent. But if you're not exposed to rituals, the best thing is to learn the scriptures like how you're doing it.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah. Okay, appreciate.
Okay. Bharat, you have this question here. Are you still around? Can you explain to me your question of Akrama Srishti?
Hi, Shakaji.
Yeah.
I totally understand the dream. It appears straight away. I was simply trying to give an alternative to that seeing in the dream, that when it's not so much that the gold is slowly transformed into ornament. I know ultimately it is, but it's meant to be used as a metaphor that what you are seeing, it's the awareness, it's a consciousness that's kind of that knowingness that's allowing you to see and sense everything around you. It's all happening instantly right now.
Yes, that's correct.
That's what I was trying to explain.
Yeah. From that point of view, from the way you explained to me now, it makes sense.
Yeah.
While you are looking at the ornament itself, you have the gold drishti.
Exactly. So it's like that classic TV screen and movie example.
Exactly. So while you're having the screen and while you're seeing the movie itself, if your mind, intellect, equipment can take a split second back and say,
Yes.
oh, what am I seeing? This is all, it's just a movie. But
exactly.
Then you become aware of the awareness principle.
Yes. I just wanted to add something, which is the absolutely excellent answer that you gave to Shaima. This whole attitude of instantly seeing, having that knowingness, it just completely quietens down the mind. No matter what is going on, your mind will go back to past, will go forward.
Yes.
But straight away, you as soon as you see it, there's an opportunity to do something. Whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
But you don't have to dwell in that state of the past or future or any other form of antagonism. It just gives you that opportunity, and it becomes natural through practice.
Yeah, I agree with you on this, Bharat. Very well put. I think you put it extremely well. It's a good comment on what Shama was also saying.
Yeah.
And I like your example of the ornament and the gold, having the gold drishti while seeing the ring or the bangle.
Exactly.
Akrama Srishti, 100% right. Same thing you apply in the world also. When the world is going on, I experience it. I have drishti of Chaitanyam, pure consciousness, while experiencing the world itself. If I am able to do that, I have realized the truth. That is the ultimate realization. And it is then the next step is only abiding and practicing that more and more.
Yep.
Okay.
No, Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Shekhar,
Yes.
the mind is always coming to us and say, yes, this what, it's the mind that is having an issue with us, right?
Yes, you are saying exactly what Shama said.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate.
It's exactly the mind. You see, the problem with all of us is this mind. And you should never forget that there is awareness of the mind. I am the awareness. Mind is of a lower nature. Awareness is of a higher nature. Practice this meditation for some time. You'll realize a tremendous truth, and you'll be able to control the mind.
Yeah, I think the other way that I use, whenever there's issue, then I say, what is it happening now? And then I will just say, when I go to sleep, is there any item? Then next day I wake up.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Vijay, are you around? You wanted to ask something?
Yeah, I think it went a very nice whirlpool of thoughts today in Shekharji Chen's beautiful session. Lot of insights. I think my spouse he's hooked on. He never sat through to the session. Today he happened to get a plate. Thank you for it.
Okay.
I think my question was different, but I was interested in Shama's and also Bharatji's question. Actually, you did answer this question when the Lord says, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Maya Duratya. It is impossible to understand Maya. So there is no point wasting time understanding Maya. And he also says very clearly, that's what I think you also told, that I am not Abjectam Jaktima Pannam. So he says, I am not knowing my unsurpassable, undecaying supreme nature. People ignorant do not know how to control and reach me. And he says, as you rightly said, Shraddhavan Labate Jnanam Tatparam Samyatendriya. So I think these rooting it to this Karmakanda, sometimes for me to develop that Shraddha in him, I think these upasanas or these chanting, etc., becomes necessary.
Yeah.
Maybe for different sadhakas, different way. But for me to get the ekagata, to be able to get the one, when we say single point of devotion on God, that's immediately difficult to jump with the first stage. But always through this different kind of sadhanas and upasanas, could it be vratas or could it be chanting, wherein you are able to control the senses and mind. And that's first stage where you tell that, yes, the world of these can be abstained to a certain moment of time. That gives a first line of victory. That's where I think I go on with the second line of control. Having said that, my question basically is, when you were doing the Aparoksha Anubhuti long back, and I was going through that, there the Shankaracharya, who is core Advaitin, actually, he says that there is nothing called karma, there is nothing called prarabdha. There is actually nothing called Maya, because ekameva advitiya brahman. So it is we have dwelt so much about Maya today and so much about karma kandas or prarabdhas today. I am sometimes get completely boggled as to how do I really patch these two works coming out of same sainthood. Like it could be Mandukya by the Guru of Shankara or the Shankara himself doing the Aparoksha Anubhuti.
Yeah.
Or how do I really patch up these two?
Yeah, see, Shankaracharya, when he writes different texts, he has got different audiences in his mind. You see, when he writes Tattvabodha text, he has got a very basic student in mind. And when he writes Shankara Bhashyam on Upanishad, he has a different approach to his commentary. So what you should reconcile is, when he's talking about Aparoksha Anubhuti and direct realization of the self, that is at a very high level. It is not at the Vyavaharika level at all. It is an absolute, Paramarthika level he is talking. So when you come, the main point you should understand is, At the Paramarthika level, Satyam Jnanam Anantam is the Swarupa Jnanam where you should focus. If your mind is tuned towards that type of thought process, go into that dwelling of the nature of the pure self. When your mind is dwelling on the creation, on your day-to-day living, on your experiences you're trying to analyze, go with the triangular format of Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Ishvara is the Lord of this Jagat. I bow down to Ishvara to solve the problems of my Vyavaharika level. So don't get confused between the two levels. At the level of Vyavahara, when your mind is bothered about the world, go and surrender to the Lord at the Vyavaharika level. Oh Lord, like the prayer which Shama said in the end, that is the only way. So at different levels, there are different solutions available in the Veda. Appreciate the different solutions for different levels of the human mind. Am I clear?
Yes, Shekharji. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think it's yeah. Yeah, I think it's staying put in the Atma Bhava as
Yes.
what
When
you
you
also
are
said.
in the Atma Bhava, let your mind just sink in that field. Don't stop it, because your mind is already tuned to something higher. Don't stop it. Let the mind flow. Higher and higher, let it go. Let it go to that, what you described as what Shankara is saying is non-dual
Non-dual.
nature of Atma. That is the highest reality. Realize that self. Having realized that self, be in the world. Let the mind get the glimpse of that Atma again and again. Let that Shruti help you. Let go through the scriptures, because it is the Shruti only which will get you the glimpse of that higher nature. From that Nanta Prajnam, Nabhahish Prajnam, No Bhaya Prajnam, that level, if your mind is able to think in that level, go and deep as possible, and let the mind merge into that reality. It is a very big achievement in spirituality if your mind is able to do that. But as Bharat said, while you are experiencing itself, take one step backward, have the drishti of that consciousness in this world itself. That is what is called as Jivan Mukti. While living, be aware of your higher nature, which is possible. Jnanis have done that. You are a jnani, you say, I am a jnani bhakta. I know the real nature.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And
Yeah, like how Tattvadarshis have Samadarshana. That's it.
yes,
Right?
that's all. And then you enjoy the life. That's okay. If you're able to let experiences come, See, the problem with the world is that it is unstoppable, uncontrollable, unpredictable world.
And a bit mindless.
It is unpredictable. It is Maya. Maya is that you cannot explain it. My experiences, nobody can explain. You say, why did I get this thought? Shama is having that problem. Say, why? Why this? Why
Yeah.
have these thoughts?
Absolutely. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Nobody likes the thoughts.
But the
Nobody
consolation is what Vijayaji has reminded. In fact, when you were presenting it today in the class, I immediately, it struck chord with me, Maya Durattaya.
Yes, it is Maya. Maya.
Yeah. So I said, oh, if he has already made this Maya so difficult, it's all right. It's all right, that I am not easily able to surpass it, So I feel that shloka is very good consolation for me. Very good consolation.
Yeah. Good. Very good, Shama. Thank you. Good night to all of you.
Good night.
Good night. हाँ बाबू भाई कैसा है?
ठीक है. No questions.
No questions.
So
Very happy. Very happy.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Listening more than
Okay, good. Very good. Very good.
he's in a peace mode. He's in a peace mode.
Yes, he's very happy
The
today.
nature. Hari Om.
Hari Om, thank you.
good night. Shikha ji.
Good night. Good night.